The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Hello, beloved friends. Thank you for tuning in to our show. Please subscribe and so that you'll know when we are on. And again, thank you. Please tell people about us because Raphael is an archangel that is here to heal through his words, through his loving energy. And the stained glass behind me does not really depict an archangel. It's a human being's form. Angels actually are non-physical beings. They are beams of light, if you will. They are pure energy, and they are always ready to help you, but they cannot unless you ask. And so today we are asking Raphael, the name of our show, and we wanted to talk today about spirit consciousness. We've talked about it before. We're saying that when you go to sleep at night, your spirit, which is an identical look-alike. So if you were to be seen, they would think it was your ghost because it would look just like you. And so it's a look-alike, and it leaves your body and goes traveling. Your spirit consciousness is you, your spirit self. And so today we're going to talk about chapter 6 in Raphael's book. And again, let me show you the right page. There we go. Ask Raphael. And it is available on Amazon.com. You ask Raphael, and I've got it down below so you can see it. People that have read it have gotten in touch with me and they have loved it because one lady said it was life-changing because there were things in there that she'd never thought of or looked at before, the view of it. It was a different way of looking at things, and that's what we want to talk about. Most people, in fact, the majority of the people on the planet, first of all, don't even know they have a soul, let alone that they have a spirit that leaves the body every night when you sleep. And it's as though it has to do that. It has to give the body a rest so it can heal. And it's a time when God charges up your chakra system. Those are the energy centers in your body from the top of your head to the base of your spine. And they're balls of light in all the rainbows, the colors of the rainbow. So sleep is essential, and every living creature has to sleep because those chakras need to be charged. And it's kind of interesting to think about that. We're almost like wind-up toys. We have to sleep or we'd go insane. And sleep research has shown that at least a 90-minute cycle or two 90-minute cycles are minimum of the sleep that we need because that's when these energy centers get recharged. And so even birds, they have these little energy centers because they sleep at night and they get recharged. And so we're talking about that spirit consciousness that is within you. And it's chapter 6, and it kind of shows people floating around. Let's see if I can show it to you. It shows people kind of floating around as they leave their body and kind of travel and give your body a chance to heal. So let's look at the definition of consciousness as Raphael says it in the book. This is, by the way, on page 75. If you have the book, you can look at it too. Definition of consciousness. Spirit consciousness is an awareness of your spirit within that carries all of your emotions. Consciousness can be technically defined as a state of awareness of the world around you through the use of your 5 senses to gather information, sort it into categories, label it, judge it as good, bad, or indifferent according to your beliefs and experiences. and then to act upon your conclusions. This is slipping off my head, so hold on. There we go. Okay. So Raphael goes on to say consciousness can be technically defined as a state of awareness of the world around you through the use of your five senses. But raising consciousness can be defined as altering your state of awareness to the super connect conscious state of mind where you use your additional inner senses to become aware of that which the physical world cannot define. And higher consciousness may be defined as an altered state of awareness of God bringing you inner peace, love, and joy. So then he goes on to talk about the advantages of a raised consciousness. So, way back, uh, Raphael gave me the message that, um, how did he put it? He said, when you see transparency in politics, you will know that there is a raising of consciousness, for the truth will be seen as truth and a lie will be seen as a lie. And once that becomes aware, the raising of consciousness will allow you to see truth through the thickness of people's lies. And so it became aware of that time, which has been, oh, I would say about 4 years ago is when he gave me this message, more like 5 years ago. And we've seen that. There has been a raising of consciousness. There has been that need for justice, that need for caring about one another, no matter the color of the skin, that need to raise our consciousness out of fear that somebody might take something away from us, or that fear that we aren't good enough, because we are divine beings of light and we have been created by God specifically to do only what personally I can do, and for you personally, you can do. So please remember, you are a divine being of light brought here to this earth to bring light to the world. If you are tuned into this show, you are having that awareness. It is coming to you, or you wouldn't be on the show. And please let me know you're here. Make some comment to let me know. We appreciate it. So, here are the advantages of a raised consciousness. Your understanding of life around you will widen so you can begin to see the bigger picture. Your intuition sharpens as you become aware of your soul sending new ideas for solving everyday problems. Your soul sends inner visions or pictures where your welfare is concerned. You develop a sense of knowing how to live a happier, more joy filled life. Your soul will increase your inner sensing, which will bring you a keen awareness of the subtle energies around you and others. Your soul will remind you how to stay balanced during stressful times. And your soul will bring you an awareness of itself and its plan for your life. You will awaken to a driving need to an increased sense of well being through beautifying your mind and your surroundings. You will experience a great thirst for knowledge and be led to find answers to long held questions that will nag at you until you're satisfied. A higher sense of integrity will grow within you. It will not allow you to be dishonest with anyone in any way, especially with yourself. A higher sense of compassion and tolerance will allow you to understand another's problems, thus making detachment easier and confrontations less frequent. You will have an increased confidence in decision making, which will lead to better choices with results that are more of your liking. Your creative ideas will pop with the willpower to follow them through to physical reality. Your relationships will either strengthen or dissolve. Your energy will increase, giving you time to do more things of your choosing. Now, he goes on to talk about the story of the 100th monkey. Let's see if I can get it up here closer. There's a little monkey, and the story of the 100th monkey. This happened way back in the 50s. So he goes on to say scientists have long been searching for where we have our consciousness. One such study began back in 1952 when Japanese scientists worked with monkeys on two separate islands that they had named A and B. These islands were far apart, and movement between them was not possible for the monkeys. They began by rowing bushels of sweet potatoes out to the islands and dumping them on the beach. Then they rowed back away and observed what the monkeys would do. The little animals were shy at first, but eventually their curiosity got the better of them, and they happily nibbled on the potatoes and then carried them back into the jungle. The next time the scientists arrived, the monkey waited until the men had left in their boats before they dashed out to retrieve the potatoes and then scattered back into the dense jungle. Then one day, one little monkey on island A washed the sand of the sweet potatoes off before eating it. On their next visit, a few more washed the sand from their potatoes before eating them. This excited the scientists. Then one day, all the monkeys on island A washed their food before eating it. At that precise moment, all the monkeys on island B began washing their sweet potatoes. This began the concept of quantum physics, in that a concept or thought arrived at by a large number of people could be suddenly transferred to others. The scientists were baffled, but declared that here was a leap in consciousness that they labeled the 100th monkey. This experience gives you a clue as to how the divine mind works. When enough people have raised their consciousness, this phenomena will suddenly spread throughout the world. And Raphael goes on to say, we say unto you, dear one, the scientific community is now beginning to understand this concept. Much is being said about mindfulness, which is another word for this 100th monkey consciousness. And yet, the scientific community still does not believe it has found the true meaning of consciousness, for it requires the visible essence of your spirit and soul. Until the scientific world can understand that we are made of God's pure spirit that dwells within us, they will never understand who and what we are. You are a sentient being with a soul, and we as angels. We have said how your spirit is an exact duplicate of your physical body. Your spirit also holds your soul's consciousness of God while perceiving it through a prism of all your emotional experiences within the physical body and into the afterlife. So, at one time, in fact, when I was just beginning to meditate, I was feeling very frustrated because I thought my mind would never shut up. It would just never shut up. Then I took a few deep breaths and I let my body relax. And suddenly I had a vision of Jesus the Christ coming toward me, holding a velvet square pillow that was a foot in diameter, was square. And on it was a diamond the size, a foot in diameter diamond, all faceted so that it was so beautiful. But instead of light reflecting off from it, light was coming from within it. And it was Jesus that was holding a pillow. And so I was totally in awe. And I asked the master teacher, what is this? Why are you showing me this? And he said, look closely. And I got closer and I looked at it, and every facet was like a window. He said, you are looking through one of the facets of this giant diamond, and God is the diamond. So he was showing me in vivid form what oneness is about, that you and I are one. Whatever you see in me reflects from yourself. For if you have tuned into this show, you are looking for a higher consciousness. You are looking for an awareness of your soul. And because of that, you will receive that information. You will get ideas that will just pop in your mind and take your breath away. Because, well, you will get the knowledge that Raphael is willing to give to you. And that's why we've put on here, um, well, Angel Betty Ray, what we really need on there is how to get this book. And so it is www.amazon.com/Ask Raphael /Betty Ray. That's what we want you to see on here. So please do look it up and purchase it. More and more people are doing so, and they are just amazed at the information that Raphael is giving. It's not new to most of you who are light workers, but it's new. It's a new way of presenting it that helps you to understand that you are a light worker. If you've tuned into this show, you want to know more about your spirit, self, and your soul. They work together with you. Now, Raphael has said that your soul is not connected to your emotions. Your spirit is, and you feel emotions while you're in the human flesh. You do not feel it. Your soul does not feel your emotions. And they are one of the most important parts of who you are your emotions. Okay, we are getting some messages here. Um, okay, well, that one I'm not going to follow. Okay, I'm hearing from, okay, my friend UGESH. Today his birthday. Can you wish him and tell about God is everywhere and everything, and it's going to happen is okay. Everything that's going to happen is okay. Well, dear friend of SHUBHAM, thank you for tuning in. And thank you for knowing that you have a soul. And that soul has a story to tell. So feel joyous today at this birthday that commemorates the moment God sent you into physical form to explore this beautiful planet called Earth. And so you have a story to tell that your soul is telling. And if it isn't to your liking, if things have happened that you're not happy about, know that there is a reason and a purpose behind it that you can't see right now, but your soul does see, because you are connected not just to God, but you're connected to everyone and everything that is physical. Therefore, you are connected to me, and I am connected to you. So, all that I can get from Raphael, you also can get. If you will just allow yourself to relax in your physical body, allow your mind to relax as you ask for wisdom from the Archangel, and you will be amazed at the feeling of love that will pour into you like that vast diamond. We are all looking out these windows on our lives that have been set upon in this particular physical body to explore a world called Earth. We are God's explorers. And when we bring the love and the peace and the harmony that we have to give by a raised consciousness, then we help to make this a glorious planet. And all of the so called evils of the world are dimmed by the light that we put out there. For the darkness is part of this planet. It's called the polarities. And that's what gives us opposites. It gives us sunshine versus rain. It gives us up versus down. It gives us sadness versus joy. And all of those will be part of our human experience. And so, thank you for coming in. Um, so I have somebody who's putting in an ad here, which I am not going to pay attention to. But do remember that you can ask Raphael and all of the angels that God is everywhere and in everything, and everything is going to be okay, is what he is saying to send a message to his friend UGESH. So if you're listening, know that this channel is all about peace and harmony and light versus darkness. Raphael has come through me for, well, probably about 60 or 70 years now, because I'm in my 80s and I've been doing this for a very long time in bringing Raphael's message to other people. And if you would like a private message, please don't hesitate to email me at angelbettyray@gmail.com. angelbettyray@gmail.com. What you see on your screen is angelbettyray@gmail.com. Please mark it down and don't hesitate to call and ask for a message. Also, we'll put in a plug for Raphael's book because a lot of the things that I'm bringing forth on this channel are now found in the new book called Ask Raphael. I will show you the cover again because I think it's quite lovely, isn't it? That beautiful angel. And it is available through Amazon, Amazon.com. The price is only $14.44. And we use that 444 number because it's a very spiritual number. Because it isn't about the money, it's about the ability to get it out there to you. That includes, or it might be extra for shipping. But Amazon.com, ask Raphael /Betty Ray, and you will be able to have this wonderful book that will open your eyes and say, now I understand why that happened. And so it will talk about your spirit self, which is what we're talking about today, that you have a spirit duplicate that looks just like you, that when you sleep at night, it lifts out from your body and you're attached to it with what's called a silver cord. So if something should happen to wake you suddenly, it would just slap you right back into your body. And you don't have to worry about it if you go traveling at night that you won't get back in, because you most certainly will. And you don't have to worry about that. Now, it is the silver cord that when your soul says the story's done and we're also all done with this life, then your soul will cut the silver cord, and that releases your spirit to just ascend into heaven, because everybody goes to heaven. Nobody goes to hell. God didn't even create a hell. Let me emphasize that. God is pure love. It's impossible for God to create a hell. It doesn't make sense. Only humans who believe in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth and revenge is mine, although it has been said that revenge is God's, nobody else's. God doesn't have revenge. God is pure love and pure energy. And so only love can come from this source of goodness. And when you tune in, when you let go of your preconceived ideas and you begin to accept that God is only love, then you'll know that there isn't a hell or a purgatory, but there is a place, what we call the between world. And that's also found in the book, in the back, near the back, where we talk about life after death. And that is on, let me see if I can find it real quick. Like, there are meditations in the book that are really good too. So, yes, here we go. That's another one. There are good meditations and how to interpret the symbols that you get in the meditation as well. But one of the things that you are learning to do in this channel is about prayer and meditation, how to speak to God and how to communicate with your angels and guides. Now, I've learned to do this through journaling, and this is why Raphael encourages it. He even talks about it in the beginning of the book, to journal either by hand on a written page or on the computer, as I do, because I type very fast. And that's actually how I can get that book out there called Ask Raphael, because I can type fast enough to take his dictation. And so the book is a conversation between Raphael and me, and I'm dictating or writing to him about the questions that you have sent to us and through this channel. So, again, we say to you, be at peace and know that you are always heard by your angels, and it is always for your highest good of what happens. Don't look at the challenges in your life as a punishment. Don't do that at all, because it is not. It is simply an opportunity for you to look at things differently and to choose to do it with love rather than fear and anxiety that your needs won't be met. In fact, there are so many angry people in the world because they're afraid their needs won't be met. And instead of taking care of the needs themselves, they also look to other people to take care of their needs for them. And that's where we get into trouble. Because if we're creators, and we are co creators with God, then we are responsible for every thought and action that we have. And if things don't turn out the way you like them, there's two reasons. First, it might be that it's not for your highest good. But second, it might be it's timing. It's just not the right time. For example, Raphael's book, I ran into so many problems in trying to find it. I lost the document twice. I had to get my computer people to find it. Don't ask me how it could disappear, but it did. Twice, not once, but twice. That was just one thing. Other things would happen I couldn't begin to tell you. And apparently it was timing, but it could have also been negative energy that didn't want Raphael's book out there. And so again, we say to you, go to Amazon, ask Raphael, get his new book, and it will answer many of your questions. And so we're so excited about it that that's why we are reading and talking about it online. And today we're talking about your spirit and how it moves out of your body when you sleep. It's free and it floats around and it meets with other spirits and it just is free to be itself for a while. And so your spirit never sleeps, but you need sleep. It's absolutely essential for mental health and physical health. And so make sure that you have time to do that. We're still looking for comments from you. Please don't hesitate. Make comments. And I'm not going to respond to this ad here, but I am going to say how Shubham, Chopin, has talked about his friend, and today is his birthday. And so we are wishing him a happy birthday. And angels surround you on this day of your birth and lift you up to a sense of joy because you are loved by this friend of yours who would put that on this sign up sheet here. And so don't hesitate to contact us for a special birthday gift by getting a reading from Raphael. They are free. We are now asking for donations because we are opening a meditation center and we're asking for donations to help for that. But if you can't afford anything, we are perfectly fine with giving it free. So don't hesitate to contact us at angelbettyrae@gmail.com. ANGELBETTYRAE@gmail.com. And we will be more than happy to schedule a time. Now, I did have a person that called me from another country, and the time was prohibitive for us to get together. I won't even mention the country to keep privacy. But instead, Raphael spoke to that person through email and was able to write out answers to the questions that it knew, it meaning the archangel, and the person was very extremely happy with the results. So if you live too far away to make a phone call, and to set up a reading that way, email us and we can set up a an email to send back to you where Raphael will talk to you. So don't hesitate. It's free. And if you can give us a donation to help us with our new meditation center, we've already got a labyrinth in the backyard here. We're backed up some beautiful woods. In fact, three sides across the street is woods. On the one side is all woods, nobody lives there, and behind us is our property all the way to a creek, a beautiful little creek. And so this is where we will hold it here in Florida, and we will teach meditation. Now, I also plan to do some of that in a video and to teach you how to make contact with your own spirit guides and your angels. Now, let's back up a minute because I said spirit guides. What are spirit guides? They are souls who have crossed over, who are on the other side, and they have been taught how to help you learn how to communicate with those on the other side. And so when you ask your spirit guides to help you communicate with someone on the other side, and I will be going to a funeral this coming Saturday, and it is about someone who lost their mother. I've already seen this beautiful spirit who is happy in heaven and so happy to be out of that physical body that was in such disharmony. There's so many things wrong with it that she is beaming from head to foot and looks like herself and is beautiful. She is absolutely beautiful. So, this is the message I will give to her when I go to the wake or whatever you want to call it. Know that when you pass away, when your spirit leaves your body and does not want to go back into it, when that happens, you ascend through a vortex of ascension. And that means that it helps you to let go of your attachments to the people, places, and things on planet Earth, where you can just let it go and forget about it, and then you can go through the dimensions to get to what you will call heaven, because it will be so perfect and so beautiful and so full of love that that's why you'll call it heaven. Everybody has a different experience of heaven, and many who come back to tell about it, if you look at near death experiences on YouTube, you will see that the main ingredient is pure love and pure joy, because you make your heaven what is for you a perfect place to be. Then, after you've experienced that for a while, you ascend some more and you are in just pure love and pure bliss. And it is a time when you can look back and you can communicate with those who have left behind, but they can't always hear you. So they come to people that are mediums. Now, I have to remind you, I am not a medium and I am not a psychic. I'm a channel. The information I'm getting to give you today is coming from the Archangel Raphael. And so I hear and interpret his messages. Sometimes they're just an idea and it bursts inside my head, and I have to stammer to find the right words and the right pictures to translate it or transcribe it for you. So, this is what I have done for most of my life, I guess, but I've been aware of it for probably the last, 50 years, because I am now in my 80s and I'm still going strong. And it's kind of a miracle to me, too. So I'm not asking any of you to have longevity. I'm asking that each of you tune in to your own angels, to all the archangels are waiting to talk to you, and tune into them by relaxing your body, by relaxing your mind, and try to stop the chatter that's always going on. By doing that, simply by relaxing your body, sometimes it means tightening up the body so that you can relax it. You don't even know you're tense until you start relaxing the muscles. When you do that, you start relaxing your mind. And when you relax your mind, you allow messages to come through. So, I hope that more people are out there to ask questions, and I hope that IBPTA, you have a message that you wanted to give, but we don't do commercials on my site, so we ask you not to do that again. And our other friend whose friend has a birthday today, again, we wish you a happy birthday. And we encourage all of you to get Raphael's book, because it will help you to understand so many things about being human and being a spirit body. That's why we've talked today about spirit consciousness. So again, remember that there is a part of you that is always connected to God. And even though you may be in despair at times, you may be feeling awful because your physical body hurts from head to toe, but that doesn't mean that God has left you. That simply means that your attention span is more toward your physical body's needs than your ability to let go and to focus on your spirit and let your spirit leave your body. Now, this is one way that you can get relief from your body without having to do something drastic like suicide. So, suicide, let me just very quickly bring that to a point. Sometimes the pain in the body can make people think about suicide, and this is not the good way to go. Raphael says it's not good because it's like you're in a swinging door. You go into spirit and you get sent right back into the physical world, and you get set up, and I mean this literally, you get set up to have some kind of emotional, physical drama that you left, so that this time you can make a better choice that is not to take your own life. This is probably it is not judged. It is simply saying, let's try this again, and this time, let's see if you can make a better choice. God does not punish, does not send you to hell for committing suicide. It simply sends you right back into the physical body. So, if anybody out there is thinking about it, think again, because you're simply going to have to come back and face the same emotional or physical challenges that you have this time. And so, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email them to me at angelbettyray@gmail.com. And also go to Amazon and get our book, Ask Raphael /Betty Ray. And again, we are always here for you. I think we still have time left. I'm going to ask Rafi or ask my engineer to tell us how much time we have left, because I sometimes get so carried away in all the things that I have to say that I totally lose track of time. So going now into the to another chapter in Raphael's book, the question is, what about prayer and meditation? How do we pray? So many people are, we have plenty of time. So many people have asked that question. How do we pray? Well, we simply talk to God as though he, she, it is right here beside us, and we're maybe sitting on God's lap. That's what I kind of like to say. I like to think I'm cuddling up to God on sitting on his lap. And it isn't a his or a her, it's an it, in that respect, that it with the capital letters, because this giant energy that is God encompasses all of us. We are within God. God is within us because we narrow it down to one person, but God is in everyone and in everything that exists. If you think of God as total energy, pure energy, and you know scientifically that everything that exists on planet Earth is vibrating energy and in some form or another is taking a shape, but just like a house that somebody has vacated and nobody is giving it any attention anymore, eventually it will crumble and disappear on planet Earth. Because unless a human being directs its energy to it, it becomes just dust. And so you, though, because you carry energy within you that is God's energy within you, you will be on the planet for as long as your soul deems it possible for it to gather knowledge. And so it's really important that you understand that you have a soul that has a story to tell, and whatever you're experiencing is really for your highest and greatest good. And so I hope there are others out there, excuse me, like a little tickle. I hope there are others out there that have questions for us, but I hope that these people who have come through are going to understand that we will answer your questions. But if it's a commercial, we won't recognize you. That's not what this show is about. We are not about to present some kind of format or any kind of product for anyone. We are simply here to bring Raphael's message to you. And again, we wish these people who are trying to advertise here, we wish you well and we wish you success. But please don't use this format as your means of trying to become famous, as this one person is trying to sell. We don't think being famous is all that important. In fact, as long as I've been doing this, I'm mostly unheard of, although people all across the world seem to find their way to our door. Well, our door through the medium. We don't have entertained people that just come off the street because they don't even know it where we live, and we want to keep it that way. Excuse me. So, dear friends, we are here with you now, and Raphael is ready to answer your questions. So use our comment section here to ask some questions that you think others might like. And this is one way to do it. Now, I have wished the friend whose name is UGESH a happy birthday, and I think that is something that we can do. And he said, go on to say, and tell about that God is everywhere and everything, and it's going to happen. Everything that's going to happen is okay. And everything that has happened in your life is not only okay, but is to give you knowledge, which will bring you wisdom, which will allow you to make better decisions. So don't look back years ago in your life. If you think you made a bad decision, you didn't have the knowledge and wisdom that you have now. So looking back on a time in the past with the knowledge you have now is not fair to yourself back then. You did the best you could with the knowledge you had back years ago when you think you made the wrong decision to do something. No, it was the right decision because all that you have experienced on planet Earth is for your knowledge and therefore wisdom about how to be an explorer of a physical world. And in planet Earth, since we have the polarities, you're going to experience emotions where you will have the barometer that goes to extremes from the highest euphoria to the depths of depression and all of the gauge in between. So, the secret to a happy life is to keep making yourself see it as a happy life, to look for the good in it, to don't focus on what's wrong, focus on what's good. If you are experiencing physical pain and you've done everything that you can through medical science and whatever methods you can find, and you're still having pain, then it is for you to accept joyously and to, what we say, offer it up. This is kind of like the crucifixion of the Christ. This was not his. He said in the Garden of Gethsemane, okay, Father, if it's possible that this cup can pass from me, please let it be so, because he knew what was coming. He was very clairvoyant. He could see what he was going to have to go through. And believe me, he did not want to experience it. Not only was it a betrayal by those he loved, but it was also a torture chamber that they put him through. And so he knew that was happening. And yet he did it gladly, without complaining, without cursing anybody, without saying that you are to blame for this, you will be punished in hell for this. No, he did it in silence. He wouldn't even answer his accusers. And they said, why don't you answer us? Because he knew it was something he had to bear. And no matter what he would say, they wouldn't understand. So you may be in a situation like that where the people around you have have not grown spiritually as you have, and you can't explain to them just what you're experiencing, the joy of God's love within you, in spite of the, maybe, as I'm thinking of my friend Bill, who has MS and who is suffering, and yet he has a joyous attitude about life. So he is bringing forth through his life much reward, in that what he is experiencing physically will be carried over into the next world as bliss and joy. And there are times when I'm sure he experiences that even though his physical body is suffering. And so suffering is not a punishment, it is part of being physical. And sometimes it is a way of bringing people to us who are serving us and are taking care of us in the healthcare community. And that is part of the divine plan for your life. So don't curse anything. And again, I've got somebody that says, okay, Johnny says, you definitely can't tell them, but they will see it in you, and that God is in everyone and everywhere. And yes, thank you, Johnny. But the joy that is within me is constantly bubbling out to everyone and everything. And it has helped me to be able to create amazing things. If you go on my webpage at Angel Betty Ray and raphael.com, you will see some of the artwork that I have been inspired to do. For example, the symbols rug, look it up. It was a hooked rug using old wool skirts and slacks. And I was inspired to do that and I had never seen it before. In fact, I knew how to do it, and I knew it was made of old wool skirts and slacks, but I'd never seen it before. And it took me a long time and many craft stores, even into Canada. I lived in Michigan at the time, to try and find somebody that had ever heard of it. Finally, I went to the library and I found what is called traditional and primitive rug hooking, and that comes from ancestors across the ocean. And so I hooked this first rug that was 4 feet by 6 feet, and it's called Symbols because it has all the symbols that God has given me to help me understand the messages from angels. They often come in symbols and pictures, and that's how I communicate with them. I don't always get words, but when Raphael is ready, he dictates them to me like the book that you can get now on Amazon. And so do look at the web page. I'm afraid I don't keep it up very well, but it's Angel Betty Ray, ANDRAPHAEL.com. Angel Betty Ray and Raphael, and you'll see other books that we have corroborated together, Raphael and I. One that people love is called Letters from a Guardian Angel. And there are 50 letters in it from abundance to wisdom, A to Z, practically. So we hope that you will look that up and order that. And that comes to me, and I send it to you. If you want it signed, we can do that. And if you want the book that is on Amazon and you'd like to have it signed, you can email me and ask for it, and I will send you a copy that is signed. So, this is something that we hope you will take advantage of. These messages from a guardian angel are absolutely uplifting. They're an inspirational book. You can open it up anywhere and you will get a message that is perfect for the day. We have seen that happen so often. And I've even instructed people to get little cards that you can put the numbers on 1 through 50, and then you shuffle the little cards and you pull one out, and that's your message for the day. And it will be right on. It'll be perfect for what you need for the day. So here we are telling you about other books that Raphael has had us write. Letters from a Guardian Angel is one that is inspirational and uplifting, and you can get it on our webpage at Angel Betty Ray and Raphael.com. All right, we got more questions. Thank you, Johnny, for visiting us. This is a young woman who was a student of mine. How many years ago did we say, Johnny? You were in junior high school. You are now a mother and a grown woman, and it's been a few years. I taught music back in junior high, and she was one of my students, but she was also one of my student assistants. So she would help me organize the music and categorize it and put it in alphabetical order so that we could find it when we wanted it. And she was there to answer my English questions. I had a couple of English students at the time, I mean, classes, not just students. And she would help correct the papers because she is brilliant in when it comes to writing. And I'm still waiting for your first book, Johnny. Have you started on it? I hope that you do. And I hope that others will also realize that you have more creativeness within you that you haven't explored yet. And please don't wait till your 80s to do it. But although the symbols rug came when I was in my 60s, I think I was only 55 when it came, and it was a vision that was given to me. I drew it on a piece of paper, and then I just went to work and did it. And it's now on the wall. It's hanging on the wall in my friend's office, and it is a beautiful backdrop. So you never know what you will be asked to do, or don't just throw it away if you get an idea. If you get a creative idea, even if it's to move furniture around, and I'm known for that, and I've had a herniated disc, and that's a no-no moving furniture, but I can be pretty stubborn too. And so when I want things to look a certain way and I just have to do it. It's just my creative sense that just drives me. And I'm sure that when you get a creative idea, it won't rest until you've done something about it. Is that right, Johnny? Have you had something like that happen? And so I hope that when you are finished with today's lesson, and we are getting there. We've got, what, 7 minutes left, so we still have time. Any more questions from you, my friends? And
We're out
no
of time.
yes?
We're out of time, past time.
Oh, it says 7 there. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We are out of time. We seem to manage to do that. Come back again next week. We love you. God bless you. And bye now.